It's the day after Christmas. Most of the country's still freezing, but don't you worry. We've got all the hot takes you could possibly want. Run It Back starts now.
Run it up, the run it back. Run it up, the run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Good Monday morning, day after Christmas. I just want to say hello, gentlemen. Did everyone have a fabulous Christmas? Thumbs up, yes? I could tell. Okay, everyone. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's teamwork right there. As always, we're joined by Stadium Insider Shams Charania, Chandler Parsons joining us as well, and Eddie G on the end with a haircut, no less. Oh, fresh holiday start, getting ahead on the New Year's resolutions. New you. I love it. Guys, Christmas Day was a lot. And so we have a lot to get started with. And we are going to start with, I guess, a rivalry, kind of. How about this? Warriors blowing out the Grizzlies. Of course, no Steph. It's a 123-109 win. Jordan Poole had 32, Clay 24, Ja with 36 in a losing effort late in the fourth. Clay hits a three and then does that, the taunting of Brooks while he was on the ground. There's so many technicals in this thing, Chandler. Heading into this game, Ja said that he was, quote, good on the Western Conference, as far as there being no competition for them to go through. So I ask you this, was this a humbling moment for this Grizzlies squad?
Yeah, for sure. I will say this game, there's so much to unpack here. You could just tell the way that Klay Thompson did that and celebrated like that. These guys definitely got under their skin and at least bothered them for him to react that way. But yeah, I mean, listen, this is humbling. At the end of the day, it's one game, it's one loss. But yeah, as the best player of an up and coming team, Josh shouldn't be talking like this. You haven't necessarily done anything besides get to the second round and lose. And then you go and say you don't care about these teams when the West is stacked. You could look at Denver, New Orleans, Phoenix, Clippers. These are all teams that are going to battle with Memphis in the West. So I think that was a little premature on him commenting like that. And Dylan Brooks talking about a dynasty when again, they haven't won anything. So it's a little silly. And then meanwhile, you got stars like Jokic and Giannis who just keep their head down and are humble and dominating. So it's a little exposing last night. But at the end of the day, this is who they are. They are young. They are fun. They are exciting. They come out dancing. They talk a lot of trash. This is half the battle with them, and they're a fun, exciting team. But yeah, this is a game that you can't lose this game on national TV with all those guys out.
Big.
Seeing as Ja tried a 360 alley-oop down 15 with like 20 seconds to go, I don't think they're humbled, if that's the question. I think their ignorance is bliss with this team. But yeah, this is an embarrassing loss. No Steph. Jordan Poole gets his second sack to start the fourth quarter, and you're down 20 in the fourth anyway. You have Klay Thompson dancing over your grave, essentially. You have Draymond letting you know the entire time that you shouldn't be talking to them at all. I love this version of the Warriors, this absolute arrogance that they have, and they've earned it in a lot of ways. And I know people feel like they're front runners, and maybe they are, but I love this. They're doing, they're a different team at home, of course, but yeah, for the Grizzlies, this is an awful loss, and they've had a couple bad ones in the last week or so. So yeah, are they humbled? No, absolutely not. They're going to be this the entire time. It is what it is. But yeah, it's a bad loss, and I think kind of sets them down a tier in my mind of who the true contenders are in the Western Conference.
Humbled.
I really want to see this in a playoff series. Like, I want to see these two teams matched up. But what I noticed last night and really the last few games is I think Steve Kerr finally has his rotation. I think he has the guys that he wants to depend on. You're seeing James Wiseman reemerge in the rotation. JaMychal Green is out. And then last night, two guys that Steve Kerr has really been vouching for behind the scenes. Ty Jerome, Anthony Lamb, both double digits. Ty Jerome had a big moment in the second half of the game where he really led that Warriors team in a crucial stretch. So I think it was a big win for Steve Kerr, a guy that I think a lot of people around the league and I think even Warriors fans have tried to malign at different points. But big time game for a lot of the Warriors supporting cast members last night.
Big Christmas Day. I love the fact that they're the defending champs, but things still bother them. Clay, I think, is at the forefront, maybe Draymond, of things that get under their skin. But this is Clay's comments after the game.
Clay, they've said that you guys are old, that the road to the championship goes through Boston, not necessarily Golden State. I think you showed Dylan Brooks what you think about all that, but what message did you want to send tonight?
Man, they was talking about dynasty and all that. You can't talk dynasty when you haven't won before. I don't think people realize how hard that is, the commitment and sacrifice it takes. I mean, you got to sacrifice your body. And I thought that was premature talk, to even mention that word. But they bring the best out of us, and I think we do the same.
Which is really all you could want. So is this, I guess this is a current day rivalry, right, Chandler? I know we want these things in the league. That's what we crave as fans. Would you call this one a rivalry?
Yeah, for sure. You can tell, like I said, they're getting under the Warriors' skin, and this is what Memphis does. You look across the league, there's the New Orleans Phoenix rivalry. There's now this one. This is an exciting one because Klay Thompson's right. Like they have no room to talk, but on the flip side, Memphis is also right. They are old. They can be beatable this year. Their time may be passing, but you give me the Warriors fully healthy with Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins in a playoff series. I'm not betting against them, against the Memphis Grizzlies. And I love the Grizzlies. They're young. They're exciting. Desmond Bane had an inefficient game. Dylan Brooks has got to find a way to be more efficient, but they don't have the experience, but they do have the arrogance. So in a way that helps them, but it also it hurts them, and it's definitely a little immature on their part. But this is what we want as fans, as media, as players. These are the games that you can get up for in February and March because it's such a fun, exciting, physical game.
I kind of love that the Warriors got 30-piece twice in New York, and 5 words from Ja Morant was enough to turn them back into the champs for a night. I don't get it. I don't know why Klay Thompson has this running list of just grievances and disrespectful comments that he feels and slights. But it's hilarious that it wakes him up every time, and he makes sure to let us know when he gets a mic in front of him. Look, I'm all for it. I'm all for the pettiness. I'm all for the rivalry, the beef, whatever you want to call it. They clearly don't like that team. Especially Dylan Brooks. Like, I'd imagine they have some love in their heart for Ja Morant, but that entire Warriors organization clearly hates Dylan Brooks. And yeah, I hear them talking after the game, saying, "Hey, is this a good look for the league?" Yes, the fans love this. I know it's a bunch of texts, and I know there's it's supposed to be professional. This is great. We love that these guys hate each other. They have to play a bunch of times. Hopefully they'll play in another series. The best rivalry in the league, I don't know. I might go a couple others, but this one's fun for sure.
Okay, that one's fun. That's fair. I worry sometimes that the window of arrogance and the window of ability to pull it off will not match, and that they'll sort of miss that. And I don't know if it will, and I guess we won't for a while. But Steph Curry was sitting on the bench. You saw him doing a lot of coaching on the sidelines with Jordan Poole, rocking a suit that reminds me of every European child growing up. So, Shams, do we have anything on when he may return?
Yeah, the good thing that I saw Steph Curry do on the bench, better than his outfit, his Grinch outfit, or whatever you want to call it, he was putting both of his hands above his head. And I think that is a good sign for Steph Curry. It was just a week ago in Brooklyn and in New York where he wasn't even moving his hand. It was really just in a socket in place next to really his upper body. But right now, the Warriors will reevaluate Steph Curry in about 2 weeks. So he is still targeting and tracking to return sometime in the middle to late January with that labrum injury. And I think the next few weeks of rehab will be a lot of strengthening of that shoulder, making sure that he's able to get some power, some strength back in that area so that he doesn't re-aggravate it. But this is a Warriors team that's 2-6 without him this year. Big win last night. They definitely want him back ASAP, but they know that they need him when he's going to be 100% healthy and not in a position where he's going to re-injure himself.
Chandler, do you think that they bought themselves any time with a win like this, or is it just one of those big time wins that they've managed a couple times now this season?
I mean, no, this is just one win, but look, this is a huge sign moving forward, and they're horrible on the road. They're the worst team in the NBA on the road, but they are on a beginning of an 8-game homestand. So I think as long as they can get, 5-6 of these 8 games and kind of make a little ground up and, kind of this jumbled up conference and just stay afloat until their 2 best players come back. But this was a huge step forward. Games like this, give a team confidence, whether it's the young guys, whether it's Lamb, whether it's Ty Jerome. These guys haven't really played in many NBA games, let alone games on national TV on primetime against your rival. This was a huge win, and believe it, you better believe it, when they play the Grizzlies next, or they line up against the Grizzlies in the playoffs, they're going to say, listen, guys, we beat these dudes without our two best players. Like, let's handle our business. Let's get to work and let's go. But they need to be cautious with Steph, but at the same time, honestly, they're so good when they're healthy. They just got to kind of stay in the hunt, in my opinion, and then they can beat anybody in a series.
We did get a nice shoe drop yesterday on Christmas Day. Ja had his signature shoe come out. Eddie, you feeling it? What do you think?
I didn't like this colorway, but I did like the purple pair he wore in the game. Yeah, I mean, like Nike likes to keep it simple with the first model and a signature line, and I think Ja is the right athlete to choose. He's marketable. He's probably the most fun player to watch in the league. He's the only guy in the league who can miss a dunk and it'd be a highlight on like a Sports Center top 10 or whatever. So, yeah, I think he's the right guy, and I think it's just a good start. I'd like to see some more colors. Be interesting to see what they cost and when these come out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Nice shoe. Good start.
That's crazy. You got to wait till April, find out what they cost, and then who knows what they cost after that. So good luck, everybody. A lot of games yesterday. Another one I guess we can call rivalry. I don't know the definition anymore. Bucks, Celtics. Jason Tatum had 41 in this, a 139-118 win. In the second quarter, yeah, it's just posterizing Giannis is not something that happens on a daily basis. He's now your favorite to win MVP according to FanDuel Sportsbook. But let's just say, Chandler, you are in charge. Are you thinking Tatum as your MVP in this moment?
Say that again. Sorry.
You think Tatum as the MVP right now? Is he yours?
It's him or Jokic. After watching Jokic last night, if Jokic hadn't won the last two, I think we'd be talking how he's the MVP. But you can't ignore what Tatum's doing. He's taken such a leap. He is an absolute superstar. They're the best duo in the NBA. They've kind of been the most consistent, best team in the NBA. But I can't ignore what Jokic is doing over there. I don't care that it's his third time. I don't care that, whatever you say, how Tatum, you don't want to give it to the same guy. And this guy's a young budding star. It's crazy what Jokic is doing in my eyes. But yes, Jason Tatum, his game is on a whole new level. It's going to come down to one of those two, I think.
Yeah, I agree that it's those two right now. There's a lot of season left. We just hit Christmas. I think they're the standouts in each conference. I'm not mad at Tatum being the favorite. He has what has been the best team in the league pretty much most of the season. That's a big win for them against another contender, a team they've already beat in the playoffs. They just came off a finals trip, obviously, and he looks amazing. He looks like he's elevated his game to another level. Which is kind of insane to say because he was already an all-star. He was already an all-NBA player, and he's added more elements today. He's got a little bit shiftier. He's using the mid-range a little more, and he's had quite the array of posters so far this season. Got Jared Allen earlier this year, got Giannis yesterday. I like that these guys are focused on these big games. They've had a bit of a rough month, but they showed up yesterday and took care of business.
Yeah, it felt the Christmas Day lineup felt like people were taking it seriously. Giannis and Jaylen Brown had a moment in the game. I love to see this. These little, I just call them moments. They're scuffles, whatever you want to call it. It led to a tech on Giannis. Marcus Smart, Thanasis got into it. Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla said that they are, quote, fortunate to have a whole bunch of defenders that they can throw at Giannis. So the question is, 7-game series, do you think the Celtics will have enough to contain them if it comes down to that, Chandler?
I mean, they're the one team of very few teams that can actually match up well with this dude. They're smart. They're tough. They have switching guys. They really pack the paint on him, and they're going to make these other guys kind of, make shots. And that's what they do. And they have a guy with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown that can go toe-to-toe with Giannis and scoring. And then they have defensive guys like Grant Williams, Marcus Smart. Horford back is a huge lift for them. But yeah, these are two elite teams. There's a couple there's one other that I really like in the East that we'll talk about later. But these two teams are are really, really good. And the Celtics definitely have the personnel and they have the depth and they have the roster to kind of contain Giannis as most, I guess, anybody could. But it's hard to stop this guy.
As most, yeah, Eddie, who's stopping him? I love that so much because there's not a lot of people that can. I'm kind of curious who your other East team is. Maybe it's one of these guys. How about Philly and New York? The Knicks tried. They tried, but despite that, they lost 119-113. Sixers winning their 8th straight. Harden 29-15. Embiid had 35. Shams, as far as what's going on internally and what they credit all of this turning around to, what is it?
So you hate injuries in the game, right? So when James Harden has that tendon injury, Tyrese Maxey a small fracture, you hate to see it. But I think when you talk to people around the league, when you talk to scouts that have seen the Sixers, the one silver lining in all that is that it allowed Joel Embiid to really reestablish himself. Because as this team was trying to figure out with all of these guys on the court together, all this talent together, they're trying to figure out what style do we play? Do we play more of that up-tempo, fast-paced style from the Houston days with James Harden? Do we play just that post-up style that Joel Embiid has dominated through? And I think we've seen them refine the way that they play, their style. And the team really had no choice but to go back to the way that allowed Joel Embiid to dominate. They needed him. And what you're seeing now with James Harden back in the lineup is he's the ultimate playmaker. 10 to 15 assists a night. That's really the sweet spot. He's even had one with 20 assists. So that's really a sweet spot for the Sixers, for James Harden, is to be the ultimate distributor. They have a lot of shooting now and some talent around them. George Niang, PJ Tucker, DeAnthony Melton, Tyrese Maxey is going to be back relatively soon. So this is a team that's found its identity. And I'm curious, Chandler, like we've talked all year, I think probably before anyone did, about the clashing of styles. But now that they really, I feel like, have honed in on it, what do you make of it? And also the fact that they've done it with guys dealing with injuries as well.
Yeah, this is that third team. I like Cleveland, but I really, really like Philly. And this is a team that's so dangerous because when Joel Embiid's playing like this, they're a whole nother team. This guy dominates the game. He's a monster on the glass. He's squaring up. He's making shots. He's scoring off the block. Defensively, you never thought you'd say this with a James Harden team, but they're very good defensively. And they have guys like, Thibault and House, these guys, and PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris. They just have such a balanced, deep team, and they're missing freaking 23 points a game and 42% from three with Tyrese Maxey. So they're only going to get better. This is giving these other guys time to kind of get in their groove. Shake Milton has been great with these guys out. And like Shams just said, James Harden has seemed to take this onus of being the facilitator. It doesn't have to do too much. And there's still going to be nights where he goes and gets you 30 and 40 points, but they're going to feed the big guy. And they have Tyrese Maxey, who's that lightning fast guard that's going to come back, hopefully any day now. And this is a tough team. This is a team that outside, the Celtics and Bucks are obviously the favorites. And I love the Cavs, but the way the Sixers have been playing now, this just shows the Knicks how far away they are. The Knicks have been rolling, right? They got a glimpse of an elite team that they're going to have to go through in the playoffs, and they have zero chance.
The little shade there at the end. Okay, fine. So they beat the Clippers as well. And we're talking about Harden sort of owning up to what kind of role he should have here, Eddie. So do you think they're on the same level as Boston and Milwaukee? Because it sounds like Chandler does.
I don't think they're on the same level as Brooklyn. The other team was won 8 games straight in the league right now. So, look, they've had quite a schedule break. James is playing really well. Joel Embiid's one of the best players in the league. They're taking care of business. I think their flaws still exist. I think their flaws are even more so when Tyrese Maxey comes back and has to play defense as well. And that's going to take them out of their kind of defensive lineup that they've been using with Thibault and PJ Tucker, who continues to only score once a week. But yeah, look, they're a tough matchup for everybody, but I think they have their flaws that you can exploit. And I think the team ahead of them in the standings is still better. I'm kind of, I thought that was going to be Chandler's third team. So I was just beat the Bucks, ran the Bucks off the floor, by the way. So
I would love to see a Philly Brooklyn series. Brooklyn has no answer for Joel Embiid.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
I just want y'all to go back and forth like 30 minutes. Okay, fair enough. There was some fun in Dallas yesterday. Dirk Nowitzki getting the statue. However, we need to talk about this Lakers win, loss, whatever. They're awful. Here's the deal. 124, 115. LeBron, the only Lakers starter in double figures, had 38. They were up by 12 in the third quarter at some point, Chandler. So if you're LeBron James, what else is there to do?
Be frustrated. I mean, this was LeBron was hot from the start, and they were doubling Luka, and other Mavs were missing, early shots. And at the end of the day, when the Mavs have help from Luka, like they did from Christian Wood and Tim Hardaway, this is a very tough team to beat. And this is just super frustrating for LeBron because he's dominating. No other starter in double digits is I don't know what else he can do. They don't, like we've talked about all year. It's we can't keep beating on the personnel that they have, but they're not a good team. They don't have much. They don't have shooting. This is a game. I'm feel bad for LeBron in a way. So it's tough. And Lakers tried to go small in the fourth, and it just didn't work. But this is a game where you feel for LeBron, and they're just missing AD, and there's so many issues with this team. But like I said, Dallas, huge win for them. And when they get games like they did from Wood and Hardaway, they're tough to beat.
But you feel bad for LeBron.
What more can LeBron do? He can break Kareem's record. There's nothing else to do in this season. This season is cooked. There's no way around that. Patrick Beverley played 32 minutes yesterday. For some reason, they lost a quarter 51-21. What are we watching? I'm shocked that I know they have to have a Christmas game because they're the Lakers and because it's LeBron. But why do they have a Christmas game? What are we watching out there that makes us go, let's watch them play Luka and get torched? This is fun. Shout out to that statue, though. That's like a physics marvel. I don't know how that thing stays up.
Right?
I'm amazed by that. I'd love to see 7-minute YouTube doc on how they made that make sense.
Well,
but yeah, there's nothing left for LeBron to do. The team is awful. It is what it is. Past Kareem, I hope, we have a good enough advance notice. It's like a 3-point thing so we can buy tickets and be there. But yeah, just focus on yourself, Bron. Commercials are great. You're doing well.
We'll look at that statue in a little bit here. Shams, you know what I'm going to ask you about, because obviously we're thinking, why was this on Christmas? With Anthony Davis, it would have been a much more fun game to watch. So what's up with him? What's the latest on his timeline?
Yeah, this is a tough Lakers team to watch, especially without Anthony Davis. They've relied so much on him. And so right now, from what I'm told, it's a stress reaction injury to his right foot. And it's really just going to be a pain tolerance thing. It's subsided in the last week from what I'm told. But the hope is that through rest, rehab, and really this time off, that he's going to be able to have that progress necessary to return. It's going to be at least a month, like I reported. That's going to put him at about mid-January. And then there's going to be a ramp-up period to see if he can play through the pain. That's going to, and even when he comes back, that's going to consist of, minutes restrictions, can't play back-to-backs. There are going to be some contingencies with a potential return of Anthony Davis. But it is just unfortunate. I think everyone wants to get on him for getting hurt on that play against Denver, where it looked like really nothing happened. But clearly this is something that was pre-existing. That's usually how stress reactions are. It's really the prelude to a stress fracture. So hopefully for Anthony Davis, he's able to manage it and it doesn't turn into a stress fracture. But right now, all he can do is rest. And that for the Lakers is a sign that he's not going to be on the floor, and they're going to be without basically the guy that led this team to its resurgence this year. They were 2-10. Then they finally pick up, 8 out of 10 wins, and they're not able to sustain it because he goes down. And so no AD for really a while now.
And on the flip side, Anthony Davis is seeing this team, watching this team, and saying, why would I rush back? Like Eddie just said, this season's pretty much a wash, man. And Anthony Davis showed us, like he usually does, like when he's out there, he can be elite. He's a top 5 player when he's going, but playing through these type of injuries, it weighs on you, and then you're in and out of the lineup. And this is just something that we've grown to have to learn to do is Anthony Davis is going to miss time. This is just a weird dynamic now where if I'm him, like, why risk my future? Why risk me having to have surgery? Why risk anything for this, team that is not really going anywhere? So it just seems like it keeps getting worse and worse for the Lakers. And this is just obviously a huge blow.
Do you want to tell us again that you feel bad for LeBron before I move on to the Mavericks?
Totally.
I just want Make sure. Speaking of the Mavericks, my sorrow here, because I should have started with them, but somehow we always get duped into talking about the Lakers first. But they did get the win. It was just their second Christmas Day win. You had Luka, you had Christian Wood. They're now 3-0 with Wood in the starting lineup. Chandler, would you call this perhaps a season-changing type win? Did this show Dallas what they're capable of at all?
I mean, it was a good win, but it was the Lakers who, like we just talked about, it's not really a tough beat these days. But yeah, this is a team where you know what you're going to get from Luka. You know what he's capable of. But when you get Christian Wood playing the way he's playing, he completely took advantage of no size and no Anthony Davis out there. Tim Hardaway is making shots. This is, Dinwiddie's got to continue to get better. Reggie Bullock, I don't know what happened to him, but he's got to start making shots. This is a team where it's going to take everybody, and Luka is obviously the focal point, and his usage rate is through the roof. But this kind of shows glimpses of how good they can be when they have that balanced attack, when other guys are knocking down shots and kind of relieving that pressure from Luka. But this is a big win. It was, national TV and then Lakers, everyone loved it, but we got to see more where it's not just the Luka show.
That's what I think people are worried about. This, I cannot believe, if you were like me last night, you're like, oh my God, there's another game. Yes, there was another game last night. The nightcap, Suns, Nuggets. Jokic had 41, 15 and 15, leads his team to a 128-125 win. This one was exciting. You've said you think he's the potential MVP right now, but the question is this: he's now won that award twice, but can he lead his team to the finals, Chandler?
I mean, look, this was a big win. Obviously, when Book went out, honestly, I saw a lot of heart from Phoenix last night, and this was one of the better games I've seen in a really, really long time, from start to finish. But this, when Book went out early, I thought this game was over. It was going to be a blowout, and they battled, and they have something there with Landry Shamet. He's shooting the ball crazy. Damian Lee, they get sparks from those guys, and Ayton and Mikal Bridges are always going to be there playing consistent. But the Nuggets are tough. And now that they're getting fully healthy, they have Porter back. Jamal Murray's getting his legs. He's trying to posterize people last night. He's coming off screens. He's playing aggressive. Jokic is I think he's the MVP right now. He's such a special player with what he does. It just comes down to the defensive side of the ball with them. And are they going to be able to kind of hold teams down? But the story of the game to me is, and really the season's Aaron Gordon. With Porter out, this guy, he's not just a dunker. He's taking better shots. He used to kind of force bad shots. He's getting to his spots. He's so strong. He's the perfect small stretch for Jokic. And he's having a great year. And this team, again, they kind of took them a while, but they're finding their rhythm now. And Jokic is having a special season once again.
Yeah, I like the Aaron Gordon point, and not to minimize Jokic and historic numbers he put up and his MVP candidacy, but Aaron Gordon has been a revelation for them. There was some criticizing the trade they made. They gave up quite a haul to get him, and there was a little bit of a ragged fit at first, but he was great last night. He was the X factor. He in a game that should not have went to overtime, in a game they should have won, kind of going away with those numbers. He was the one who came through in the clutch for them. With Jokic, can they win a title? I still have the same issues. I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but I watched Chris Paul exploit drop coverage all night last night. I watched the Suns do it over and over and over, to the point where Landry Shamet had 30 points. Chris Paul, I think, had 16 assists. Because if you're gonna give him the space to just walk his way to the free throw line on pick and roll, he's gonna be able to pick apart a defense. And he's not even a dynamic pick and roll scorer at this point in his career. So imagine those guys. Imagine John Morant doing that with that amount of space. Imagine Stephen Curry. Imagine whoever else you want to slot into that role. It's going to continue to be an issue. Jokic is so great that on offense that he might be able to overcome not being a defensive anchor on a championship defense and actually win 4 playoff series. But I'm just going to have to see him do it before I believe he can. Until then, they're flawed in a lot of ways. This is a game that shouldn't have been this close. At home on Christmas against a team who lost their best player 2 minutes into the game. But why are you in overtime fighting out to the death and need a replay on a massive dunk, shout out Aaron Gordon, to actually win the game? So, I hate to be the woe is me guy or to kind of rain on the parade out there in Denver. But, yeah, I still think the flaws are still there, and it's going to be tough for them to overcome in the spring.
You're just our Debbie Downer, Eddie, and we love you for that. Yeah, no, that dunk, that we could watch that over and over again, and we will. This was in overtime, and it was originally called a charge. That was overturned, but dunk of the year, where are we putting this one so far, guys?
I mean, this got to be up there. Christmas Day, game on the line. I'm just glad they got the call right. I thought when they went to the review, they were just checking if he was outside the restricted area. But this is definitely a block. He definitely shifts his body, and you can't take away a dunk like this.
They need to change the rule, though. They got to make it so whenever there's a poster like this, you can't even call it a charge. I remember last year Anthony Edwards got called for a charge, and that one actually stood like that was by far the dunk of like the last 5 years, the Anthony Edwards dunk. This is right there on that same type of level, I think, the way he posterized Landry Shamet. But like, you can't call a charge. They've got to fix that. I know it's not in the referee rule book, but they got to fix that.
I agree. By the way, complete side note, I hate when they review a play, like, whether the timing or the clock, and the foul is just so absurd. Like, they should be able to change the foul call as well.
I mean, Eddie, what were you going to say?
I'm going to be that guy again. This wasn't even the best dunk of the day. I like Tatum over Giannis way better. I like Tatum over Jared Allen way better. There's a John Morant dunk earlier. Yo, he dunked on a guy shorter than him standing there and leaning back. Like, it's great. Crunch time. I love it. But come on.
He took off from far out, though. Like, this wasn't just like in his face by the rim. Like, that was nasty.
Imagine if Giannis was jumping at him trying to get in the way, though. Like, it's a little better. But great dunk. Great time to have the dunk. I'm going to go JT over Giannis, though.
New haircut. New Eddie. I love this version. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the latest on Miles Turner. And Christmas Day means fashion catwalk. Thank you. We'll be back.
That's a flop. That's a flop. He's an actor. I know. He was in West Side Story. What? He was Officer Krupke.
I really think that should be every game, no matter what. Guys, yes, we want Robin Lopez mic. That's what Mike's Up's for, right? Like, sometimes it's just lame.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard they share a house somewhere in California that's full Disney themed.
I believe all of that.
Did you guys hear this? Because that's shocking.
No, it's awesome. And it has to be true. And Shams, get on that. We're going to need a full update tomorrow with you live from the house. Got it? Great.
I'm on it.
Okay. On more serious news, Miles Turner, doing some Instagram lately, watching him put some videos out, which I hope is a positive. Shams, what's the update on him?
Yeah, he's been in the Willie or won't be traded for the last, 8 years. This is his 8th year with the Pacers. But I'm told him and the Pacers have actually opened up contract extension negotiations. He's eligible for a renegotiation extension up until March 1. The Pacers have $25 million in cap space right now. That gives them the ability to give him about $19.1 million on top of his $18 million salary just for this season. So this year he could make up to about $37 million in salary, and then obviously drop down over the course of a contract extension. So they're going to try to figure out if they can come up with an agreement that allows a deal to get done. There is a level of motivation on both sides to get something done. I think the Pacers will keep an open mind if a potential trade comes out of the woodworks in the next really month or so. But there is some level of interest. The Pacers are playing competitive basketball in the Eastern Conference. You're seeing Tyrese Halliburton lead this group, and I think Miles Turner, I think he's enjoying playing with Halliburton with Indiana right now this season. So keep an eye on a potential Miles Turner extension.
That is good news.
Yeah, I don't see why not, too. Like, if you're Indiana, you're in a good position. I think all this talks about him and Buddy Hield moving, they kind of, he wanted out, but I think now they're on to something. And I don't know who Indiana can get much better than what Miles Turner provides. They have this young stud in Halliburton. They have the pieces. They have a great coach in Carlisle. At this point, yeah, I wouldn't shut down trade conversations, but I could definitely see them making him part of their future. He's a talented big that can shoot the ball, that blocks shots, that deserves a bag.
An emotional
feels like he's been around forever. He's only 26 years old. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, but it feels like we've been talking, you're right, about where's he going to go next this entire time. Shams, thank you so much. We will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. And the fashion yesterday It was another gift under the tree for all of us, and people did not disappoint. And we got to start with Luka. Okay.
When in Rome. When in
yeah,
Rome.
but no, here's the deal. You don't tuck your boots. You don't tuck your jeans in your boots unless you're working. And he ain't working. So
He was going to work.
No, he's not going to
at
work in the field. He's not going to get dirty.
I feel like at some point, if you're on the Mavs, you have to have a night like this. And he pulled up in the old school classic, the
That was
Mavs
nice.
blue. Yeah, he'll never wear this again. But I think for the situation, I think it was okay.
I mean, it's
Yo,
the
what is
bolo
what is
tie
thing
was
called on the
bolo tie.
That's like.
But it was very like stiff. It looked like it was just a hilarious. The whole thing was a hilarious visual. Luka's living his best life. Like I'm jealous.
I love when the European folks give like their American spin on things. Like you know, they give our accent. They start talking about hamburgers and stuff. Like that's what Luka did with this outfit.
He really did, and it was like a double one because of Texas. So it's like I felt it twice. I was like, all right, I see you. I see what you think. James Harden, go.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Hey, what is it? It's outrageous.
Great question. Is it
it's
velvet?
furry. It's mask. I know it's cold, but my God, this is.
Yeah, is it fur? Is it? It looks like something a costume's made out of. What is that, Eddie? Is that has to be some hella expensive designer? I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like a $3,000 jacket. It's look. I like Marnie. I don't like the mohair trend.
What is Marnie?
I like a lot of their clothes. I don't know if this is a balaclava. I don't know what the mask is, but I like that this is a thing now. Everybody
it looks homemade.
Everybody owes that one rapper a lot of credit and Just Do for doing this like 8 years ago. He who should not be spoken of. But yeah, you can't see in this picture the slippers in the bag.
Yeah,
though.
that's
like,
what I was.
He really went all the way out.
The bag is like it's a Louis Vuitton with the roses, and then the shoes match the jacket. It looked so comfortable. And on a day when none of us probably changed out of sweats, I hope. Well done. Well done. Okay, that's Draymond Green head to toe. Is that Gucci head to toe?
That's Gucci.
Looks like a big turd.
Yeah, that's not all that funny. The Travis Scott Air Forces, I'll give them credit for that. I don't like the Go-Yard bag if you're a Gucci like this, but
It's too.
Oh, you don't like to clash the designer logos?
Yeah, I feel like, look, he's a man of means. He could have got a Gucci toiletry bag as well if he was going to do this, but I like the socks.
Looks comfortable, I guess. I don't know. I don't love it. This is not my favorite, although I don't know which one is. All right, here we go. Yeah. I'm about to do something I don't like to do. I'm going to say something nice about LeBron. It's a great outfit. It's classy.
You know what? Hey, Michelle, I don't feel bad for him anymore. At least he got to rock this home.
Yep, looks great. You can never go wrong with the coat.
This is clean. This is classy. I like the shoes. I like the coat. This is it.
Yeah, this is it.
Dad vibes. I love when LeBron isn't doing like the streetwear. He's doing the I'm a 40-year-old dad fit. You can never go wrong with a good long coat. So
you can't.
Yeah, this is a fit. He did this. Good job.
This
Bron.
is what's great about winter. That's when you get to wear that. And then there's Aaron Gordon. Hold on, gotta look at this closer.
That's Carmen Sandiego. That's not Aaron Gordon. That's something different.
What in the world? Okay, we just said you can't go wrong with a long coat, but then it turns out you can.
You can.
Nice coat. Nice coat.
Oh,
Not
it's
a
fine.
Nice outfit, though.
But it's costumey.
Velvet pants.
That's what I was wondering. It's like a rock star pant.
Oh, brother.
Great
game, AG.
It's getting out of hand.
Great game. Although Eddie wasn't that impressed by your dunk, so I don't know what to tell you about that.
The dunk, the outfit.
Oh, I could do this for an hour.
Mediocre.
I love it. It's hard to believe he found a coat that was too big. Coming up next, which wide receiver play in the NBA? Plus the best dunks, hopefully for Eddie, when we come back. So we mentioned it, Dirk getting a statue yesterday before the game, and it is a physics marvel. I mean, guys, that's awesome. That's all I have. It's awesome.
This is so cool. And by the way, they changed it. They had this weird like anal bead type of thing coming from the ball last time. And I was crushing Mark for it, and I hadn't talked about it since, but I saw that yesterday and I was just dying, waiting to see it, and it's not there. So if you guys can get a glimpse of the first take of the statue,
well, now I'm going to spend the rest of the day.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Gonna be hard to Google that one to get the first glimpse, but
No, it won't.
yeah,
No, it won't.
I love the statue.
Yeah, this is sick. And again, Mark made a joke. Mark made a joke yesterday how Dirk had his jersey retirement when he retired, when they named him Nowitzki Way. So yesterday he was just like, "All right, here's the statue." It didn't say anything nice, which is hilarious. But Dirk's the GOAT, man. He's the best. He's the best European player of all time. He deserves it.
Can we get another one of him with the takeout plate? Can we get one of those like in the tunnel somewhere?
That would be great.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Maybe. Eddie, I'm with you, though. I
too.
hope there's a doc coming out, or at least just a quick 7-minute snippet on how that thing got made and erected, and
Should
the first version that we missed.
Yeah.
So good. All right, we do have some dunks here. Now I feel like this is a personal thing for Eddie, so we'll just rename this segment for Eddie's Delight. That man has a family. A lot of men have families, and yesterday some of them got, ooh, here you go. You loved this one, right?
Yeah, that was last week.
That's last
Pacers.
week.
I think they beat the Celtics that day. But yeah, when you dunk on a guy and throw the ball at him, like you're kind of a couple posters this year for JT. This is the type of stuff that wins the MVP on my vote. What you think, Chandler? You like that one?
Yeah,
Sent him out of bounds.
He's getting bodied. This was his teammate too the year before, right? He is getting bodies. Hopefully we have the one from yesterday, but this was he goes coast to coast. This is nasty. He's so strong.
You showed the one from yesterday, you weirdo.
Have you ever got dunked into the tunnel? Have you ever that ever happened to you, Chandler?
Yeah, I'm sure I
The
have.
tunnel. Do you think he keeps track mentally? Like he has a list of everyone he's dunked on this year? Right?
I would.
All right, there's the SWAT that just, I don't know, 7 rows back. God.
Yeah, you know how like the phrase is like sent it in the third row. This is really the third row. This is embarrassing.
And this is like what you do to like this is like what you do to your son in the driveway. Like he barely jumped on this block.
Yo,
not a fan of the beam.
I'm leaving
team,
the arena
apparently.
with the basketball, by the way. If I get that ball, I'm leaving. Security's gonna have to chase me.
Yeah, just run. I think you have good, decent odds, unless somebody else steps in and try to be a hero. But I think you could make it.
Yeah, well, like why be a hero? Let me just take this home. It's cool.
It's overrated. I don't know. Yeah, that was there was some anger behind that one, some frustration being let out. LaMelo.
Oof.
Oh. Hold
Welcome
on.
back, John Wall. Welcome back. he put another move on him, like 2 more trips down the court.
Hey.
Yeah, that's good to have LaMelo back. Good to
All right,
have
that's
him
fun.
back from injury. But
Yeah, this
I'm
is a
sorry,
great
John
move.
Wall.
This kid's got so much game.
I think the kids say he got dropped off. He gets.
Is that what they say now? Okay, I'm never going to keep up.
Yeah. He sent him in a whole other direction.
This is always the worst too when you're trying to kind of down the pick and roll there and force them the other way, and it always ends poorly.
Dang, and it's a long 3. Like there's just a lot in this one. Okay, all right, LaMelo Ball, I see you. That was good. That was good. Kevin Porter sending Josh. Whoops.
These it's hard to tell. These is it a put? Oh, the pointing at him is the most disrespectful.
The point hurts.
Weight room, young fella. Weight room.
I mean,
look, there's a little. Look, it's not about the dribble at that point. It's about the fact that I can just send you that far on the court whenever I want. That's,
right.
Man up.
I'll be honest with you. I feel like if you point at me like that, I'm going to do something on the next one. It's going to be violent. I don't like the point.
Yeah, no, I need give me the ball when we go back up there. I don't give it.
I don't even need the ball. Fly, just
I see.
The point is just so disrespectful.
The point is worse than anything.
It's worse than anything
on my
we've shown.
team in the inner office game.
I won't be on the floor long, but I mean, at least I'll give it my all. Try it.
Exactly.
Jeff Green. Old man Jeff Green. He still has these moments. Uncle
he still
Jeff.
got it. He might be more athletic now than he ever has been.
How's that even possible?
I like that his approach is just like, I'm just gonna throw it in really hard. Like no glitter to this. Just I'm gonna jump up high, I'm gonna throw it in, I'm gonna yell at you. Get out the way.
Yeah. And everyone's gonna get pumped.
He gets like 3 of these a month. It's insane. He's just gonna do
really
this forever.
does.
He's gonna be at like a LA Fitness in his 40s, just dunking on randos like this. I can't wait.
I can't wait. I can't wait because that's 100% fact. That is going to happen, and I cannot wait for all the video that comes out. Oh my, yeah, I love it. Never slow down, Jeff Green. Just keep it moving.
Never.
Well done. All right. Christmas came and went. Maybe there's been a change in the vibe, but when we come back, it is your chance to win some money. Hint, don't do what Chandler says. America's #1 sportsbook just got even better because you can now bet on horse racing directly in the sportsbook app. Not only can you place bets on live horse racing, but you can watch horse races live right from the app. We make it easy to bet on horse racing with races going off every 5 minutes, free picks, and easy tutorials to help you learn about horse racing. Bet on horse racing today directly in the FanDuel Sportsbook app or learn more at fanduel.com/horse racing. All right, so former NFL receiver Devin Funches says he wants to play in the NBA. He's got a video out there that's already gotten like 3 million views. He knows he'd probably have to go overseas, all that stuff, yada, yada. But it got us thinking, A, does he have a shot? Chandler, I'll ask you that first. What do you think?
I don't know anything about him. I wouldn't assume so. It's not that easy just to kind of.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's been guys like Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez, Julius Peppers, Jimmy Graham.
Yep.
Those guys played like college, but there's too many other good players that haven't made it. But I really don't know. Maybe this kid has game.
Well, let me ask you that then. If you had to, because wait, what's that? Oh,
you see all those guys went the other direction. They went to football, not to basketball. Like, well, let's be real here, Devin. I had hoop dreams into my late 20s as well, but
hoop dreams. He's only like 28, but is there a professional athlete that you can look at right now that exists in the world that has a shot at making an NBA roster? I mean, I know you mentioned some of those guys, but
I mean, I don't know personally any of these. I mean, you could look at like body types and physicality and stuff of who could possibly do it. We always do that with the NBA to the NFL, but I don't like when I went to Florida, Cam Newton, these guys, they always would go to the rec center and think they can hoop, but to make the NBA, like, no, there's a reason they chose the NFL. Like Eddie said, no chance.
Chandler, no. All right, fine. Let's do some let's win some money, or we'll try on the Play Parlay from Wednesday. Look at that. That's what we left on before the holiday break. Chandler, big old red L.
Looks about right.
I like that. I like that better than the checks. I like that a lot. Let Chandler know.
I do too. W's and L's it's more harmful. I'm on a 2-pick win streak. So I'm not telling America what to do, but you might want to listen to me when we do these. That's okay because we throw that away and we start one for tonight. 3-leg parlay, Eddie. Why don't you kick us off?
I'm going with Chandler's favorite non-contender out the group of the top 3 teams in the East. I'm going to go with the Nets on the road. You're giving the Nets points, 8-game win streak. I think this is a team they match up really well with. And I'm biased. So Nets, I'll take the points.
He is biased. Chandler? He's very biased.
I am taking the Clippers -5.5 at Detroit. Again, Detroit's not trying to win. The best player's out. Come on.
Oh dear. I don't feel good about Chandler's for some reason, but that's okay. I'm gonna piggyback off of Eddie's, and I'm taking Kevin Durant, the over of 27.5 points. That feels like a no-brainer to me. But then what do I know? But so far, everything. $20 wins you 100. By the way, our dollar amounts are going lower and lower. We have to get these, guys. We have to get them. Okay, so that's what you got to do. Good luck to you if you decide to put your money on that one. You should. We'll be back tomorrow bright and early. For Eddie, for Chandler, for Shams. My name is Michelle. This has been Run It Back. Enjoy all of the games tonight, and we will do it again tomorrow. See ya.